Welcome to the best NFT show in the world. What a damn episode. What a time to be alive in the NFT industry. And what a time to be with my co-host, Ronin. We're going to have a good episode. We'll get to the breakdown here in a second. We got about 40 of you guys in the house. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Ronin? How you doing, my man? Hold on, Ronin. You're not coming through on VMix. Are you muted? There you go.
That was on me. Trying to make sure you guys don't get a kick before I get started. So, no, it's been an excellent week for anybody who's NFTs. You obviously know there has been a lot of attention on our little community, right? So, it's been talked about a whole lot. There's a lot of celebrities out there tweeting about TopShot. There's a lot of celebrities like Gary Vee that are preaching the gospel of NFTs. And those worlds seem to be colliding on a platform called Clubhouse. Clubhouse has been pretty insane, dude.
I mean, you're kind of a celebrity yourself these days. Ronin, the collector, has been in the Clubhouse just getting after it. Just absolutely getting after people. This is mass adoption, by the way. We're going to get to Flow. We're going to get, obviously, Ben Mauro has that drop that we're going to have him on in about 15 minutes to talk about that drop and take us through his experience, his evolution, if you will, as a creator. And we are going to get to that. But we are here. This is mass adoption. We see NBA TopShot. We see what Wax did with Street Fighter. We see a lot of other things. CryptoPunks going for millions. This is just, we are here. This is validation for everyone that's been here for so long. We're so excited, man.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw in chat, my audio is a little bit low for them.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm super hyped. I'm so excited, dude. So last week I got a really excellent opportunity. I was able to actually write an article for 1:37 p.m. For those of you that don't know, 1:37 p.m. is basically like a media output that kind of talks about kind of what's hot and what's not, right? And it's run by the Gary Vee team. Those guys are super cool. They gave me a really excellent opportunity to put out an article there. So I wrote an article titled 5 NFT projects that you need to know about. I do want to make it clear, it's not like my 5 top projects. It doesn't cover every project and every blockchain. They asked me to write an article that was kind of geared towards people who are getting in the space through NBA TopShot, which is an extremely easy onboarding experience. So what I tried to do with this article was kind of put some light on some of these excellent properties that are up and coming or are already established that are on kind of lower barrier blockchains, right? So I'm sorry to, the Axie Infinity team. I'm sorry to, anyone on Ethereum, basically. I didn't really cover too much on Ethereum outside of Decentraland, and I think that's because Decentraland is super easy to jump into. You can do it as a guest. You don't need to log in. And I think it's a great place for people to start when it comes to the metaverse. So yeah, it was an excellent opportunity. And again, that is one of those things where it's like it's absolutely surreal, right? Like for me, I've been trying to get in Gary Vee's ear for I don't even know how long, countless amount of years. I went back and I shared a tweet from 2 years ago where I tweeted him like every single day for a week or two straight, or not tweeted him, wrote him its emails. And yeah, nothing came of it, but hey, Saturday he retweeted this article, or actually he tweeted out and shared it. So that's kind of cool, man. It's been an excellent space. That's actually the Micah, the AKU. We're going to be going through that on our hot topics today. But outside of that, we want to say what's going on to everybody who's in chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. XP says I need to accept his trade. Look, dude, I need to check my wax.
People are absolutely lighting me up. Listen, we do not have our production guy, Crypto Buffalo, the man behind the scenes. He is getting after it in real life. You settled down in the chat a little bit, guys. We got so bad. We got all these different kind of comments. I might have to put some people in timeout. We'll see. But basically, Buffalo is going to be here for years and years and years and years. He's not going to be here today. So I'm working the production while I bring you live content. It's not that easy. And Ronin was definitely getting some comments there in the community about this article. But I will say that this article, Ronin, was amazing. You did a great job. I mean, the fact that, you're on 1:37 p.m. is amazing, and you're highlighting great projects. And we're going to be highlighting great projects here today. So this is kind of the breakdown. We're going to touch a little bit on Flow. We're going to touch on their OpenSea integration that's happening. We're going to touch on that a little bit on Wax. So Wax had that Street Fighter drop. I think they're doing, I don't want to give away the number, but around 3 million. And then Polygon is doing some interesting things. QuickSwap is one I've mentioned a bunch. We'll touch on Christie's and Beeple. We'll hit on Micah Johnson, Post Malone, and then we'll get to Ben Mauro, who's waiting in the wings to tell us all about evolution, all about his experience on the VIV Marketplace right now, man. We're gonna do 2 a week because we have to at this point, right? So, last thing,
it's coming.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, and let me know. I think everyone's saying his audio is good. The last thing I will say is in the description we have a LADZ survey that we want most of the LADZ kind of to fill out. If you're brand new here, obviously LADZ is the crypto network, the layer 1 crypto network, and LADZ is the community that powers this channel. And so we do a lot of cool things with our social token. We do a lot of cool things with our Discord. And that survey is something that's going to help us. Hunter was able to create this. Hunter does a great job. He works with Nifty Drops and a couple other projects, and he put together this survey for the LADZ to fill out so that we can get more feedback on what we could be doing better. So top 3 most innovative, most impactful, we'll say, survey answers will win LADZ. I believe 300 LADZ a piece to the top 3. So that's kind of the breakdown. NFT Live, the best NFT show in the world. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The chat box is awesome. When the chat box is lit. We're ready to have a good time here. So keep that chat box rolling. And then if it's your first time, obviously hit us with a sub. We're happy to have you here talking all things NFTs, man. Ronin, are you ready?
Dude, I'm ready. Real quick, we want to hit chat, say hello to some of the people out there. I didn't see any questions, so not anything to hit exactly, but what's going on? XP, Tony, Flint, David, Hubber Snacks, how you doing, man? Weed Miner Night, always nice to see you. Bait Shop Billy, Luke, Antoine, Gav, Scott, it is a pleasure. Thank you guys for joining us today. If this is your first time, definitely if you like the content, make sure you like, right? And then you also subscribe. Those 2 things that take you less than 2 seconds help this channel tremendously to grow and to get more attention and to kind of get that YouTube algorithm kind of in our favor. So it's tremendous. And if you want to go that extra mile, hit the share button, share it to Twitter, share it to Facebook, share it to Telegram if you've got a Telegram group. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate you. The more that this stuff gets out there, the bigger that LADZ will grow, and more opportunities will hopefully be coming our way. And that, in 137, excellent interviews like with Ben that we have coming up for you guys, and then obviously our breaking news. So I think we're just about ready to jump into that.
I think we are. I think we're ready to get rolling. We do have an awesome episode. So we're going to start with Flow and we're going to end with Flow, basically, because that's the situation right now. We've got NBA TopShot kind of making its name known. But before we hit that, we're going to actually talk about this integration here that they're doing with OpenSea. So obviously OpenSea is a great NFT marketplace on Ethereum. I believe they have some other integrations there, but they're planning on integrating Flow based on this article on Play to Earn. There was a press release earlier this week, but you will be able to buy, sell, trade CryptoKitties, not that you can already, but you'll be able to do that with NBA TopShot and all of the different IPs. Eventually, via OpenSea, you'll just be able to have like a drop-down category where you can, trade on that chain. So really cool stuff from the Flow blockchain here. Awesome to see OpenSea as well deal with the integrations.
Yeah. Do you see any negative about that? Like I don't see. I've seen some people getting really upset on Twitter, and to me, I'm like, this just adding an extra feature. It's not like they're switching to Flow, right? Yeah. Unless I misunderstood like the entire article. So okay, yeah. I was just curious.
This is a conversation I was having with Easy. I'm not going to make this go long. We want to fly through these, but I'm actually impressed with the ETH community in the reaction they've had to Flow. Right, because there's, you've seen other ETH1 killers. You've seen some things, happen before where the ETH community will essentially lash out and say, this isn't decentralized and these different things. We really haven't seen that with Flow, and it's amazing to see that we don't have any internal kind of battles happening between those two communities. They've been really receptive to what's happening on Flow, and I just want to give them a shout out for that. So yeah, technically, you could see more ETH projects, and we're already doing that, seeing more ETH projects moving to Flow, but I think it's let's just grow this pie together kind of situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So next up in the news, we do have the Street Fighter drop, which was last week, and essentially those guys did extremely well. We're looking at numbers just shy of 2 million in the first 24 hours initial sale, and then when you include the extra secondary sales that they've seen, I believe within like that next 24 hours, we're looking at about $3 million in the first 48 hours for Street Fighter. So obviously, big shout out to them. Thanks again to them for sponsoring last week's episode. You know, when it comes to these games and these experiences and these brands, like obviously this is a good place for them. So I think that it just made sense. I figured they'd do some pretty big numbers, but those are massive numbers, dude.
Yeah,
So I think that, you know,
some of these numbers that are coming through as well, man, 50% of the packs being burnt as far as opened, and then also the numbers that we have with 30,000 wallets getting involved. That's big.
wow, that's huge. Yeah, that's like the TopShot type come up, right?
Exactly.
So excellent, awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, all right, I got this next piece of story. I love. Oh, what's up? What's going on?
Yep, nope, go, keep.
Okay.
You're good.
I've got the MATIC network. MATIC has been doing a lot of good things. They've obviously migrated their branding to Polygon. So what we have here is a story from their Twitter here. They really didn't, I don't think, put out a blog post about this, but they are going to be able to have onboarding via another credit card on-ramp. So a lot of people have been trying to get their hands on QuickSwap, trying to get their hands on MATIC so that they can integrate into these networks, but it's not the easiest thing to bridge from one network to the other. We know we've been talking about interoperability, we've been talking about all these different things, but it's not that easy at this point. So what they've actually set up here is credit card purchasing for MATIC, at which point you'll already be on their chain. So that's amazing. Then you can switch into all the different projects on their network. Polygon's doing so many different things. I don't have time to kind of go through it. I would love to hit it maybe on the next NFT live episode, but they are just out the gates running with this layer 2 here on Ethereum. So definitely excited for that.
Yeah, dude, big shout out to them for that. I mean, Matic is just going to continue to grow. So the next story that we have got for you guys is the Topps digital cards are coming to physical packs. So essentially today, the Topps GPK Food Fight series has hit the store shelves, and that is at Walmart and Target. And essentially you can buy some packs, and in the, I believe I said, what is it, the code? Yeah, so each box of the cards contains a code for a GPK collectible on wax, which is really cool. We actually saw them do this a couple years ago with redemption codes from, I think it was like one of the Comic Cons, and they did it for the Topps apps, and they did it, you know, just for the game at that point. But obviously it made sense if they've already run that type of program to be able to run something similar for wax. So cool shout out to them. We are starting to get to that point of mixing digital with physical.
The digiphysical stuff is super interesting, and I'm glad to see it being in like some of the biggest retail markets pretty much out there in the US and abroad. So this is kind of the deal. Again, we don't have Crypto Buffalo here. You guys are dealing with me on the back end. Hopefully I'm doing an okay job. So definitely give the team a shout out if you like the comments. If not, if you're like Hubs Griff or whatever the heck his name was early in the episode and you want to get on out of here, hey man, listen, we can't just, we can't make everybody happy here. So we're going to continue to go through this. We're almost at Ben Mauro, and we'll talk about that NFT drop there on the VIV Marketplace. I've got the Christie's news. Obviously, Beeple is absolutely killing it here over the past 3 months. The guy's made millions of dollars at this point and is one of the biggest NFT artists in the scene. It looks like Christie's is moving to accept ETH for their upcoming drop. And this is a good move. It reminds me of a lot of projects that maybe are on different chains, but they start with an ERC20 token, is because the money there is on ETH. The money in the ETH ecosystem is strong, and Christie's even sees that, which is amazing to see. If they have a successful ETH sale here, it will be also a really, we'll keep our eye on whether they start accepting BTC, they move down the line and start accepting other currencies, maybe Flow one day, who knows. So awesome to see everything that Beeple's doing there at Christie's. It's moving the space forward, and I love to see it.
Absolutely, dude. I think that this is probably some of the business news in 2 months period of big news every single day, it feels like. Because when you see an art auction house that's been around forever, kind of embracing the digital, it's a big deal. So a lot of people, even in Clubhouse, just 6 weeks ago, were talking about how the art houses and the galleries and the auction houses were pushing back against this technology and really kind of saying, as soon as the world opens back up, this is just a fad. Like as soon as the world opens back up, people are going to need to be in the galleries. They're going to need to like see and touch and whatever their art and present it. But I think that Christie's is realizing that's not the case. This isn't a fad, and it's not going anywhere. So big shout out to them for kind of putting the spotlight on the scene for us.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to touch on some of these comments because there's a lot of good ones. Easy's talking about Ronin rocking the clubhouse like a star. Oh My Coins is saying, just let U.S. residents buy and trade flow. That's all I'm asking. Listen, the SEC is protecting you from all of those gains, man. You can't handle all those gains. So the SEC is doing what they can to protect you. All right. So we've got a lot of other great comments, but we really do want to get to Ben, and we have two more really quick pieces of news before we get there. But thank you guys so much for showing up here today while we bring you the NFT news. And let's get to Micah Johnson and Post Malone, and then we'll get into the interview.
Awesome. Yeah. So next up, we're talking about the Micah Johnson drop that happened on Sunday. That was a nifty gateway drop. And so basically what took place here is Micah essentially launched a character, and that character's name is AKU. And AKU is basically a little boy, and he dreams to be an astronaut. And this basically stems from Micah overhearing his nephew ask someone if black people could be astronauts, and it broke his heart. And ever since, if you guys actually look on the wall, you guys give Micah some love on Twitter, give him a shout out, follow the story. Aku, this is just the beginning. I was talking to him about, is Aku going to be a virtual influencer? Like, because what type of inspiration can you provide on a platform like Instagram when you can target kids for positive, for good, right? So yeah, super exciting story. I love it. I love Aku, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does in the future.
Awesome, man. I love this piece, and I love that you're showing it, man.
It's so dope. And if we had the music, oh dude, it goes so hard.
Listen, I got the music, guys. If you want all the links, they're all in the description. If you want to experience it in real time, all the links are going to be in the description. Okay, I have the last piece of story. No, it is not Lindsay Lohan, guys. I don't know what Ronin's thoughts are on Lindsay Lohan these days, but we do have other celebrities getting into the NFT game. Specifically, right now, we have Post Malone. And basically what this NFT is going to be getting you is the ability to play beer pong. We're not bro enough in crypto yet. Play beer pong with Post Malone. So if you do purchase this NFT, it gets you in essentially like a giveaway or a raffle to play beer pong with Post Malone. So really cool stuff from Post Malone and Fuck Render here. And like that's awesome. I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube, but we just did. So that's a situation. Really cool story. And I love, I'm a big fan of Post Malone, so it's great to see him get into the space. I know he's doing the avatars there as well.
The genies?
Did
he do a genies? Yeah, he did a genies. I thought he did a genies for like a little music video or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah, dude, those guys are going ham. We're gonna I've been talking to Izzy, the lead over there, and on Clubhouse, and he's definitely interested in coming by and checking us out. So, but I think that is pretty much all of the hot topics, and I think it's about time that we get ready to welcome our guest. Is he about ready? I don't know. I can't see your side of things.
He is going to be ready, and we are going to bring Ben Mauro. He is going to talk all about his evolution drop here on the VIV Marketplace on Flow, and let's bring him in here and have a good interview. Ben, how are you doing today?
Hey guys, I'm doing great.
Awesome to have you, man. Hopefully you sat through most of that episode. Hopefully you thought it was a good time, and we are going to have a great interview here to talk about everything with the evolution drop that you have coming up. So again, just like Ronin said, I appreciate you coming on here today.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, so could you kind of just a quick little introduction of yourself for everybody who's here, and a little bit about like the industry that you come from?
Sure. I've been working as a senior concept designer and art director for the past 12 years or so in the game and film industry. Started on movies like the Hobbit trilogy, sci-fi films like Elysium, Chappie, Valerian, Mortal Engines, Amazing Spider-Man 2, um, Man of Steel, a bunch of stuff, like just working in the film industry. Ton of Call of Duty games, Advanced Warfare, um, Black Ops 3 and 4. And currently I'm on Halo Infinite, which has been really fun the past couple years. And so my experience has been like very detailed, realistic, creating realistic universes for the game and film industry for most of my career. And now I'm uh, just absolutely in love with this NFT space that has popped up, and the Flow and Vive team. Like the moment I was like, "What is this? This sounds really cool." They got in touch with me, and I was like, "It's perfect." um, and at first, it was going to be more of just like a couple of my paintings for sale, and then it was like, "Hey, why don't we put all this together?" And that would make a really interesting series for like a collectible series, and it's basically a representation of the past 10 years of my work. Some of the earliest designs are from 2011, like at the beginning of my career on The Hobbit, um, like just learning how to do ZBrush and design creatures. These are examples of the card designs. The final designs are animated, but there's common, rare, and legendary. And yeah, it looks really cool when it's all when you guys get it and it's all animated and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's basically on one level exploring all these amazing, fantastical creatures that could evolve in our galaxies, um, and also just an evolution of my art over the past 10 years, just working in this industry and all this amazing technology popping up that allows us to finally um, sell our work digitally as originals and as collectible objects like this. It's really fascinating and exciting time.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear kind of how you found out about NFTs. I know you said once you did, the Flow guys were on top of it and really introduced you to what they're doing with Vibe, which is a whole nother conversation. I would love to hear your
Yeah, yeah.
experience with Vibe. But how did you essentially hear the word NFT the first time, and what was your experience like thinking about non-fungible tokens?
Yeah, honestly, like most people, it's probably Beeple. I mean, I mean, I've been following him and friends with him for a while, and like, um, it just kind of popped up one week, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm selling this NFT thing," and even he seemed like a little like confused about it. He's like, "Well, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna try it, and here's what's gonna happen." And and then when all that happened, I was just like, "Okay, what is this? Like, something's happening here," and it just reminded me of like the first time someone told me about Bitcoin, like maybe 8 years ago, and it was like $500, and it was the exact same situation where it's like, what, that sounds weird. What is this? And at the time, I was just like, I didn't do anything, like I didn't research it, I didn't do anything, and here we are, 8 years later, 50,000 a coin, and I'm just like, I'm an idiot. So like I got the similar, my spider sense was tingling again, like this is another moment like this, but I'm gonna jump on it and just go for it. And so, I did some research and figured out what all this stuff was. Some of my friends, Victor Mascara, run sites like Super Rare, and so I just started applying to those sites. And if it's good enough for my friends, I thought it was good enough for me, and just kind of went for it and got in and started selling some one of ones and testing the waters. And it was basically around that time where I was just like, I want to do this, and I think I got accepted into Super Rare and the Vive team. It was all like the exact same time, um, and yeah, I just kind of went from there. Like I was like, what is all the different ways of doing this? Okay, there's one of ones, there's editions, there's just like all these different things happening. I was just kind of trying to understand the market and understand what people are doing, and just coming up with a plan and strategy too. Like we all have been working for so long, and this is kind of it's kind of like a mixture of like collectible trading cards, fine art gallery selling originals, and almost like selling editions. It's like a mixture of like selling edition prints kind of, and it's like a fascinating mix of all these different things. And it's just trying to figure out, okay, what makes the most sense for this collection of work, what makes sense for that collection of work, and what new things do I want to create to expand. So for me, it felt like I could have just went and done one-on-ones of certain things, but I felt like this fits together. There's a really strong idea here, and this could make a really awesome collectible series that I'd love to keep expanding and allowing this to grow into like a huge project, and allow the people who get the first editions to make those much more valuable and rare over time. And yeah, I just think it'd be a really fun thing. This is what I've been doing most of my career, creating universes, but now I can finally do it for myself, because before we needed like a huge team, tons of producers and managers, and like all these different people to make a project like this. But now it's just, I can do it through a website like this with a really great team with VIV and FLOW, the FLOW guys. And
That's awesome.
It just kind of cuts out like those huge middlemen that were taking everything before.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And I think that's where the power, like in the blockchain, lies, right? Like it's to kind of empower the creator again. And so for me, I would love to know a little bit about, like, so we know like kind of a little bit about evolution, but we don't know much. There wasn't much release,
Sure.
and we just got the release date this week, right? So that's going to be next
Yep.
week. So what else can you tell us about the project itself? I did see it referred to as like collectible cards, but then in another place I saw it referred to as a collectible card game. So I wasn't sure if like right now you're just kind of doing like packs, and then it may turn into like a gamified experience later. But maybe if you could give us a little overview of the project.
Yeah, it's definitely not a game. Not like cards don't have like +1 attack, -2 stamina, and stuff like that. It's more of it's like in between collectible NBA cards and like an art drop kind of thing, like somewhere in between those two, and less of like 1 versus 1 fighting kind of thing with the cards. But moving forward, if the community is really interested in that, I'm totally open to just expanding and turning it into something much bigger. And yeah, all the rarity, the amount of cards that are printed, and everything is set on the FLOW website now.
Yeah, so I do have one quick thing, and I know there was a couple comments as well. This is why I want to touch on it before I let Ronin dive deep here. You have this priced in FLOW, and we talked about this prior to the episode. We know that FLOW has been fluctuating, if that's the word you want to use. Are these the actual prices that are going to be live once this goes on at 3 p.m. UTC there on March 3rd?
Yeah. They didn't want to change that. Like that was the hardest part. That's why it took so long to release information, because like I think when I started working with them, FLOW was like $8, and then it's just going, because NBA TopShots is doing crazy, so everyone's starting to invest in FLOW. And so, yeah, it was tough to like, okay, when do we announce and at what price point? And, it could fluctuate more too. So it could be lower by the time we launch, or it could be like, we kind of made sure there's like a range of, just in case, whatever happens. Because FLOW's not available in too many markets yet, but there's so many like big investors like Coinbase and Binance, so it'll get there eventually. But for right now, it's a little restricted to a couple markets at the moment.
Cool. Yeah. So as far as the cards are concerned, I saw there we've got the 3 different rarities. How many different creatures are there total? Do you know? I didn't. I know it's in the article.
There's 21 cards total.
Okay.
So I think the card 01 is like a collection of all of them, like a big like gallery of all the things, like all the creatures, sort of like this, but in a card form. And then 20 original creatures throughout the rest of the cards. Yeah.
Wow, dude, the art is absolutely
huge variety of colors and designs and different species, and so yeah, it'd be super fun to keep expanding into like this is like huge idea, just kind of endless possibilities of ideas and designs that could fill this universe up. And
yeah, what about the QR codes on these? The QR codes that are down in the bottom right hand corner of that shot.
They link back to the page where all the cards will be listed, basically.
Got it. Very cool. I don't know if TopShot has that ability, does it? I don't think it does. I love that what's cool about this space is like you can iterate and you can continue to like make it better and the experience better. And then if it works out really well, let's say for your drop, right? Like they can then go and apply QR codes to TopShot if they want, right?
Sure.
And if they wanted to then bring the video aspect into, you know, evolution, like that's what's really like exciting about the space is that you can kind of iterate upon these things. And, you know, you can have this drop and it's got these 21 cards and, you know, and 2 months from now, you can turn around and say, hey, if you've got an entire collection, you'll get a special card or you know, you can unlock a new experience. So like the utility there is great. Have you guys kind of gone down the road of how like you made gamify and add utility to the NFTs?
Yeah, that's kind of like first things first is just getting it out the door, of course. But,
Getting it out the door, absolutely.
Yeah. People are like, "Are you gonna make a game, a comic, and a movie?" I'm like,
hey, we moved
that
past
would be
you,
amazing. But I'm only one man. I'm just one guy. Give me, like, let me get the baby out the door first, and then I'll think about the next one.
Ben, I do have a question because you have a amazing background here. Just going through this, like you said in the beginning, you a senior concept designer and art director for the past 12 years. Call of Duty, Halo, Metal Gear Solid, Elysium, The Hobbit, Valerian, Mortal. And I mean, do I need to say more? I wonder, like, what is the role of a senior concept designer and art director? I'm just not familiar with what you're doing there, and how does that play in to then what you're doing with evolution? I think that's a cool like tie-in.
Yeah, a lot of it is just like say like a junior designer would be, if I can't, like starting out in the industry when I come in, I kind of don't, like I have skills but I don't really know what I'm doing. So like you come onto a movie and like say Elysium, I was a junior artist around that time, and there was like really senior artists kind of setting the tone of like, here's what the movie's going to look like. And I was helping, but there was like more senior people who have been designing for many years who are like, here's the strong direction for this project, and let's build the whole universe around this like look for all the tech. And basically I'm at that point now where I'm the person doing that, where it's like, here's sort of the level of detail, here's the aesthetic, here's the sort of caricatures and characters I want to fill this universe, and here's the variety of all these creatures. Like, you know, in say an evolution, they all look very different from one another. There's aquatic aliens, there's hard-shelled insect aliens, there's primates, there's all these different things. So it's really just applying all these years of things I've learned, say, working on The Hobbit, making, you know, the warg look different from a goblin or look different from this, and allowing these things to be very iconic and unique in a movie. I can apply all this knowledge into these cool collectibles I can make for the NFT world. And I don't know if I've seen that quite yet, so I'm excited to get something like that out there, and hopefully set the bar as high as I can for myself, and keep pushing it higher and higher each time. And as far as like art direction, it kind of tied in the same way. It's like the work is so strong and visually iconic and unique that they build the whole project around that look, I guess. And we might talk about this later, but like I've been doing a graphic novel the last few years, and that's basically what I've been doing. Is like most of my career has been like these baby steps of like, okay, I'm a junior artist, I'm a mid-level artist, I'm a senior artist, I'm an art director, and maybe on each of those projects I would have a little piece of it, like I just did the vehicle or I just did the weapons, and each time I wanted to do more and more until I could do the entire thing myself, building an entire universe myself. And like the graphic novel for me was, I wanted to prove that I could do all that myself, and now I'm pretty much at the end, and it's been exciting to see that whole thing come together. And then I worked with the team to make a CG film trailer out of it, and I was art directing a team of people the past year at the same time to bring my graphic novel 2D stuff into the film world. So that was, again, like kind of adapting and translating my own work into like photoreal CG, which is again just something I've done on films and stuff before. You know, you got to take the Spider-Man drawing and what is this going to look as a photoreal person on set, build out the suit and stuff, and so a lot of that kind of thing.
Wow, a lot of attention to detail. I think that that's one of the things that I love to see in it is that the art is so high quality, and that that this is definitely a top-notch product in my opinion, and that's why I wrote about it in my article last week. I think that I was super excited, and the fact that we were able to kind of connect via Clubhouse and now end up being able to interview is really kind of cool. So thank you again. Like, really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, of course.
So if anybody in chat does have any questions, guys, make sure that you definitely go ahead and ask those so we can get them over to Ben. I did see one, and I know you kind of spoke to this a little bit, but have you looked? Do you have more than just that 21 block of characters? Are you kind of planning or
Sure.
already have like more of them?
Yeah, so I have I'm trying to keep a lot of things separate, right? So like super rare is more science fiction and robotics right now, and I want to try to keep these things a bit separate. And so evolution is very organic, creature based, but it could totally be expanded in the future. Like I have other stuff that could be used, but I prefer to like make new stuff moving forward for evolution, just because like it is about the evolution of my art too, and there's so much new stuff I can do that I couldn't do back then that I think could make for even more exciting and unique looking art and designs for a project like this. So yeah, there's stuff ready to go, but also I'd want to make like some really cool new stuff to expand this moving forward.
I think Ronan touched on it. Composability is so awesome in this space. Like you might even have someone that comes into your community. It's like, I really want to make something here on Flow that has to do with evolution. And I really love that aspect of decentralization. And we're going to touch on decentralized ownership of some of these assets. You were saying that, back in the day when you would maybe work a set or you're working a specific movie and you're working on the art, that maybe that you kind of had that ownership, and now as we move kind of into that 21st century and things like that, although we're in 2021, that's just crypto moving fast as hell, but that relationship, that ownership is changing, and maybe NFTs could be the bridge there. But before we do get to that conversation, I wanted to talk about your experience with VIV. Not many people are buying and selling things on VIV. Obviously, it's a new marketplace. Flow is fairly new. Some people can't even get Flow, for example. But what has your experience been on VIV, and what's the vision there? I know I took some people through that marketplace just recently, and kind of what's your experience been there? And are you guys pretty much the first drop on VIV?
I think so. I think it's the first kind of big project. I mean, there's like NBA Top Shots and stuff, of course, but they kind of have their own site for all that, but I think they're bringing it to the VIV network as well. But I think this is the first like big project launch on the site, and yeah, it's been really good, because this is like I'm like a fish out of water and all this stuff, and they've been kind of holding my hand through everything. And what's cool is it is so new, so like most of the people are selling out pretty fast. And like, say if you got into Super Rare or some of these other sites where Ethereum art sites are so crowded where it's hard to stand out, whereas right now on Flow and VIV, like it is so new that there's a lot more opportunities to like just get your work seen and sold, and because it's just, yeah, you're kind of an early adopter of this new thing, which is pretty exciting. So for me, it's kind of yeah, I kind of always like the underdog of the new thing to kind of roll the dice a bit and try it out. But obviously, I'm still on selling things on Ethereum. But when I researched the project and I researched the team, like I knew about CryptoKitties, but I didn't know about the team and stuff, like in 2017 and earlier when some of those first games came out. And I just remember being impressed with that project. And then when I saw that these guys were the team behind that, and they specifically made this network for these high volume transactions. And I love Ethereum, but after the past couple of months of selling one of ones, you kind of start seeing some of the inefficiencies. I know they're obviously upgrading to F2.0, but like for now, it's like one day when the network was busy, it took 9 hours to do one transaction, which is not so good. And then the gas fee on one transaction, it was saying it was going to be $4,000 for me to put down like a 5F bid on a friend's painting, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow, I guess. So things like that, where it's just like when the network gets busy, there's a lot of things like that where it's just like, okay, maybe I gotta I can't use this right now. Whereas it feels like they've built Flow in such a way that there's no gas fee, it's really fast. There's they can just handle these huge transactions and it doesn't slow down the network and stuff. And so stuff like that, where maybe I didn't understand how important that was at the time, I kind of understand now after selling one-on-ones for a few months and kind of seeing like, whoa, that was quite a bit of money that went into just gas fees, kind of thing. Yeah, it's just interesting to when you start using it and seeing the pros and cons and stuff. And
yeah, it's definitely like the biggest downside, I think, to Ethereum. And obviously, like the network effect is a huge deal, but in my opinion, like Flow is getting there, right? Like now it's just a matter of getting people to understand that there's something on Flow that's outside of TopShot, which is obviously kind of like on that TopShot team. So. But yeah, I think that, dude, it's an excellent project. I'm so looking forward to it. So the only other question that I think I saw in chat was with how much attention Flow is getting and how much attention TopShot is getting. Do you know if they're planning on doing any type of queue system or anything like that, or they're just gonna kind of like drop it? You may not even have had that combo yet.
Yeah, I think they're handling all that stuff.
Yeah.
They kind of ask me things sometimes, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever you guys think is the best. Like, you're the experts. Like, this is all so new to me. So I think it might be just first come, first serve. But the ability, whenever the OpenSea thing happens, like that will just be really huge, I think, to be able to trade and sell NFTs no matter where they are in this giant secondary marketplace will be pretty incredible.
Yeah,
I was really excited about that news.
Yeah, I've got I've been showing a couple of the pieces right here, the collectibles that will become available. You said that there's going to be some animation that's involved. Is there anything
else?
Animated,
yes.
Are there any other details that you could possibly like drop here on the channel while you're here? Is it so they'll be animated? I'm assuming there will be mint numbers, but just details as far as that goes.
Yeah. I don't know if there's much more. It's pretty much like, yeah, there's information and specs and data on the cards and different character traits, like who this alien is, where they're from in the galaxy, and all this kind of stuff, and kind of basically setting these unique things that could be expanded later on, like building out their planet or building out this kind of thing.
I love that, man. I love that. And we've got a lot of people in the house here. I think we just hit 100. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in this sale. We've got, I can't say his name to save my life. It looks Russian. Ben, you're a genius. If I had enough money, I would buy Evolution 100%. I've got Lukic Arts is saying, how are applications for VIV right now? I'm an artist and I'm looking for a marketplace to start my drops. Yeah, VIV is absolutely blowing up, and Ben's going to do his part here to make VIV more known. This is going to be an amazing drop, and I'm definitely excited for it. The last piece I'll get to, and guys, please drop your comments in the chat so that we can get it to Ben before he hops out of here. Let's touch on that conversation we had pre-episode. You said that the digital rights or rights at all for different, I guess, concepts or sketches, maybe, it's kind of 50-50 whether who owns this. And sometimes the studios say, hey, we own this sketch. So that's value going away from the creators, and we're kind of moving away from that. But from your experience, kind of take us through that real quick so that the guys can know.
Sure. Yeah, because back in the day, like when all concept art for films were done on oil painting or like a gouache painting or pencils, like the artists, that was their drawing, they owned the original. Even in comic books, I think a lot of times it happened, especially in France, the artist owns all the original drawings, and that's kind of like their retirement plan, right? When the comic's out, they split the costs on the publishing, but the artist gets all the originals, and they can just make a bunch of money and sell that. And over the time in film, I feel like that changed where the studio tries to take all that now, and they're saying like, no, that's our IP, we own that, and then they either sell the originals themselves or just keep it in a safe somewhere. but I feel like with this, now that digital work is there's a way to sell it, I feel like there should be we should try to get that in our contracts or something where it's like, okay, you own this thing that was created, but we need to have the right to sell this digital original as the creator of it. And I hope there's going to be some sort of conversation about that eventually. Like so many friends who have been working in film, it can be pretty brutal. It's just capitalism is usually like, how can I pay someone the least and make the most money off them? And that's been most of our careers working in films and stuff. So like this feels like a big flipping of that whole thing where it's like, okay, now I can actually make very good money with the art I make, and all those years of getting kind of like ground out by the system, or maybe there's something at the end of the tunnel, I guess, or a carrot at the end of the stick, I guess. And yeah, it would be incredible to like, you finish a big cool movie or something and I get to sell all my Star Wars art that I worked on the Star Wars movie or something. That would be incredible. Lucasfilm still owns Star Wars, but this original painting the artist did on that show is their original oil painting in digital form equivalent, I guess, would be just absolutely amazing if that ended up happening. But I feel like, yeah, there will definitely be some conversations and kind of friction around this topic, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think that we'll see some friction for sure there. But I do think that what you touched on is very important for people to understand, is how like this technology does provide the ability for artists who have for generations been undervalued and underpaid to now like kind of cash in on that and to cash in on the talent that creators have. So I do appreciate you bringing that up, and I think that, dude, it was an excellent interview. We appreciate you coming and hanging out. I did have one more question. It doesn't look like we've got any further questions from chat, but I had a kind of personal question, and that's if we'll ever see a Huxley and Evolution crossover.
Well, I'd love to. That's kind of what I was thinking about, because my original plan for Huxley was like very traditional. Like, I want to make a cool graphic novel. I want my cool like French meta barons thick graphic novel in my book in my hand. And
nice.
That still is kind of like the goal physically, to make something like that. But then it was like, with all this stuff happening, it's like maybe there's some cool way to release something NFT related. Like, I have this amazing like trailer that I was going to be using to pitch to turn it into like a TV show or a film, but maybe there's a way to release snippets of that as like amazing NFT originals on like a Nifty, if you're listening, or somewhere like that, where it's just
what's
like
excellent is that
a big drop.
Yeah, and that's kind of
because all
like
the work's kind of done. It's like
use...
10 years of work all ready to go, kind of thing.
That's amazing, dude. I love all these little previews from it. And I was gonna say, like, that's what's another part that's really kind of cool, is that you can almost crowdfund, right? Like, growing this universe. So, which is pretty amazing.
Honestly, that's been one of the most amazing things, is because I was basically self-funding and producing this like CG short trailer with a team, and I was getting kind of worried at the end, because it costs a lot of money to hire a bunch of people and make something that looks really nice. And the NFT stuff kind of came at the exact right moment, where it's just like I started selling some one-on-ones, and I'm like, oh my god, this saved my ass so much. Like, it paid for the rest of the cost of the trailer, and like I was having a lot of anxiety, like, okay, I'm gonna have to clear out like all my savings. I have to clear out like my 401k or whatever, and selling some one-on-ones. I was just like, oh, thank God. It's like an incredible way to sell my art, to make more art. And yeah, it's almost like a crowdfunding, or I see it as like a fundraising effort for me to make more cool stuff. And it's just kind of like the most beautiful mix of like art and technology. And I don't know, I just feel like this is the most revolutionary moment for artists and creators that I've seen in my career to date. And I just think it's just something really special. And I'm I'm glad it's finally happening.
It's hard not to get like super emotional when you talk about the stories that we hear in NFTs. You know, we see Fuoshi's life change overnight. We see the stories that you just mentioned, where people are getting, and it's not even like it's not even like you're taking anything, right? It's already there. The value that you created was there. It's relevant and evident because of what people are willing to pay for your work. So it's just unlocking that piece, and definitely want to commend you on that. A lot of cool art pieces here that you guys can go through at Ben Mauro there on Super Rare. We're excited for this drop. I don't know if you want to get us any other information. I did want to hit some of these comments. It looks like Adrian saying the artwork looks so beautiful. Bait Shop Billy saying good for artists. Luca Art is saying, yeah, that's interesting. I know that Marvel DC allows Illustrator to sell the original. People like James John sell them for lots. And then Ronnie saying he appreciates you joining the show. Awesome guests you guys are bringing every week.
Yeah, and I thought Flint had a really great comment. He says, this guy is a real artist. He says, your shit's so beautiful. Pieces are hella dope. So obviously you're getting a lot of love, man, and just the community's that way, and we thank you so much for your time, Ben. We're super excited, so and I'm primed. I'm ready for some evolution next week, and so we look forward to hopefully keeping the dialogue open. Hopefully for the next drop, we can with you again and get an update on the project. And I think that's it for me. So with that, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, Ben.
Awesome, dude. That's such a good interview.
Such a great interview. Ben was awesome. It's awesome to see good things happen to good people, man. And he seems to have his listen, Lindsay Lohan, I do love her, but there are people getting into the space for the wrong reasons, and you can tell Ben is in it for the right reasons, and I can't wait for this drop, man.
Absolutely. And it's really good to see people like that who are coming in the space that have the ability to kind of throw around. I mean, look, the guy's got so much experience, right? I'm sure he could have went to anybody, pitched anything and ran with it, right? But for him to come into the space and actually put in a little effort, kind of come up with this idea of evolution, right? He helped fund a little bit of that, right? By dropping some of his original art, but he actually used that to then funnel it into his other two projects that he's working on. So seeing that the way that this space can change someone's life literally overnight, man. I mean, these clubhouse rooms, and I know I talk about it a lot, but they're really powerful, and it's something that we wanted to touch on actually before we left for the day. So I figured it's a good segue. But they really are powerful, and I'm seeing collaborations happen for projects, for NFTs, for art, the whole gamut, dude. And you never know when you'll be sitting on stage and all of a sudden MC Hammer jumps into the crowd, right? So dude, it's been the wildest week of my entire life, and that's pretty crazy, and I'm very thankful for that. And Clubhouse is a huge part of that. And anybody who is in the space and you're trying to collaborate and trying to meet people and you're trying to figure out I do dope art, but I need somebody to do dope music, or I got dope beats, but I need someone to do dope art. Get in Clubhouse, man. Search NFT in the search box. Figure out who is out there. There's collab rooms, there's NFT rooms, there's all types of excellent content, and it's really good for networking. At the end of the day, I've been able to. I feel like we have elevated LADZ to a total new level through the connections that we are making using that platform, and we have just scratched the surface of some of the announcements that are what LADZ are doing. All I got to do is boys say hold the bags. Hold your bags.
Not investment advice whatsoever, guys. I'm over here trying to get your LADZ drop here for the episode, and a couple of people in Discord in LADZ City have been having issues with some of their accounts, so it looks like we're having issues logging in there to roll, but we will drop the LADZ rewards today for you guys in LADZ City in the main chat. So if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, jump into the Discord. We got awesome mods in our chat. It's basically one of the coolest communities in crypto. They hop into our channel all the time, and they get rewarded for doing so too with LADZ. So if you're interested and this is your first time, definitely hop in there. And we just got people that span the gamut. You're interested in NFTs, DeFi, Bitcoin, maybe you're an Ethereum maximalist, maybe you're a Lindsay Lohan maximalist. How many times can I say it on the show in one episode? Just so that Ronin could maybe.
How bad did our viewers tank with another Lindsay Lohan reference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for being here, man. That was an excellent episode.
Yep.
That was super cool. You know, and so we've talked a little bit about like the ability to do Clubhouse. The lads are definitely going to be putting together a Clubhouse panel where some of you know, us, you know, me, Q, hopefully Buffalo, and then some of the lads who have been taking part of the community will be moderating some panels. We're going to be doing that regularly. The goal is to start that this weekend, Sunday night at 9 p.m. If you guys are on Clubhouse, make sure you're following at Ronin DACC, Ronin DCC, and at Nifty Q. That way you guys know when we're doing these events and stuff. So that's kind of the way the system works. If we put it in a calendar event and you're following us, you're going to get a ping letting you know, hey, there's this event. Then you can add it to your Google Calendar or your iCalendar or whatever. And it's super easy. And yeah, so the goal there is every Sunday night we'll hop in. Maybe we'll have some guests. Maybe it'll just be the lads. Maybe we'll have a topic. Maybe we'll just be there to chill and hang out and shoot the shit. But the idea is to regularly be able to be on the platform, to let people know what lads are doing, the type of content that we create, and the type of community that we have. And that was a beautiful fade. So you know, hit us up on Clubhouse. I don't know what else. I know we've got other news, right? Do you have anything else we need to announce before we head out?
I think
this has been an excellent episode.
It has, and Ben did a great job. Listen, we miss Crypto Buffalo, and he will be back.
So bad.
Not that bad. Easy. No, now you're saying I'm doing a bad job.
No, no. Okay, for context. Yeah, okay, for context, the last time that I was on the show prior to last week, because you guys know I had to take a couple weeks off. The last time I was on the show, the last time that Buff was on the show and producing, right before we went live, he put on some hype music that changed.
It was RAC,
game.
I think.
I guarantee you. I don't remember.
Yeah.
No. It was Rihanna, Jay-Z, something like that. And dude, he turned it up in our headphones and we got so hyped, dude. And that was like the way that the episode started. So I kind of miss the hype music. That's all I'm saying. I miss the hype music. I miss being able to like, you know, get like really hyped up and, you know, it's just as a team. So next week.
Awesome, guys. All right, well, we're going to head out of here. The last thing I'm going to do, because we are dropping the rewards in LADZ City, so not on the YouTube channel today, I want to go through some of these comments. You guys are absolutely killing it. Ronan, hold on. Let me get to these comments really quick. It looks like, God, I had it. Orlando saying, amazing interview. Happy to have Ben in the NFT space. More value pouring in. Brian's in the house. We will take care of you, Brian. Don't worry about that. It looks like Ronnie said it would be awesome it would be Pog if we also hear from the VIV Marketplace. We'll have the VIV guys on. I'm getting some Greta Maximalists in the chat. We got Ronan secretly loves Lohan. There's a lot of stuff going on today in the NFT space and in this week. So really awesome interview. Ronan, what did you have before we hopped off?
I actually wanted to hit a comment, and it's something that I don't know how I forgot to put on our news. I apologize. But yeah, so XP posted up in chat that RFox is actually announcing a Roblox-type platform that is going to be held up on NFTs. That's huge news. So we've got another platform coming to us. We're going to be able to play with our NFTs in a totally new way, and I'm so hype on that, dude. So do you have anything else before we say goodbye?
You guys are awesome, man. 100 of you guys in the chat. What a great episode.
Hell yeah. You guys know what it is. Our vibe, our tribe.